Hi, guys. I know it's been a while, but we're going to get into some real tea today and we're going to talk about situationships. Let me tell you why I think this is a good time to talk about a situationship. We are embarking on the holiday season, right? And I believe that this is where um, the lines start to cross or where um, the issues start to come, right? I like try to word it right. This is where it don't start. It start to do a little disconnect. Um, Now the reason that it came to mind is because there's a lot of things going on, and I know how we just got right out the summertime, and I know a lot of people tend to end up in situationships, right? Let me be real with you. I think a lot of heartbreak, a lot of um, emotional turmoil is due to situationships, right? And guys, I know y'all follow me, but I'm gonna be real with you, right? Y'all are the initiators of situationships, okay? And women, and I know y'all like to tussle, right? Y'all don't have boundaries, right? So the reason I feel like this is the time of year where it starts to become a disconnect or lines get crossed, a lot of crazy things is because you thought, and I know somebody going to see this and be like, damn, that's crazy. You thought, right, that you probably going to get invited to Thanksgiving, or you think that Christmas is coming, he going to give me a present. Like you expecting this. Like you're expecting it. A lot of people like to lie to themselves and be like, I don't have no expectations. I know this ain't happening, or whatever the case may be. Women tend to lie to themselves thinking they okay with something they are not, completely not okay with, right? And even if you says something about the issue, like, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that, just the idea of you still dealing with somebody knowing this shit don't align with you, you are letting somebody cross your boundaries. And yeah, you still dealing with it, right? Ooh, excuse me. But when I say guys are the initiators of situationships, it's because y'all have a tendency, because men are a lot different from women when it comes to drawing boundaries. They do it from the top. They do it from the first conversation, from the first link up, from the first hookup, from the first freaking text message. They draw boundaries immediately, immediately, and it go right over women's head that that man drew a boundary automatically, right? And he already fit you exactly where he wants you to be, and he's doing it without you knowing. He know what he doing, right? He letting you know what he okay with, what he not okay with. What in a lot of times it be the conversation that's not being had, right? But men have a tendency to draw quick boundaries real fast. Women don't. And women have like the boundary, like, oh, not, I don't want to say invalid shit, but shit that you need to draw the boundary, like no sex, before the first date and shit like that. Like other boundaries. Like if this shit ain't feeling like it's aligning with me, I ain't really fucking with you. Don't text me after 9 o'clock. We not together. Shit like that, right? Women have a tendency of still trying to be okay with things that they are completely not okay with, right? Men letting you know off top, that's a dub. So now when we get to the holiday time, people start to have expectations. This is the kind of the time where people want to be cuddled up. They want to be kind of locked in. I told you this cuffing season, so they're trying to be cuffed up, right? But this is when those kind of conversations start coming up. Now, what are we? What are we doing? Right? See, in the summertime, it ain't no issue. Because everybody living free, cooling, they chilling, they don't care. Nobody want to be cuffed up during the summer, but when the winter come, now everybody want to be locked in. We need to know what's up, what's going on before we move forward. The holidays come in. You need to kind of get an idea if he going to give you a gift or not. In his head, you probably not going to get one because you ain't even his girl. This is when them conversations start to come up, like, you're not even my girlfriend, like, and shit like that. Are you going to be invited with his family? If you're not, now you feel some type of way. the lines start to cross and people start to have a little disconnect. And it's because men have a tendency to make you feel a lot of times like something is going on and it really ain't going on, right? Because women don't pick up on them boundaries that men put forth up front, right? And they are methodical. So they do things a certain way, they handle shit a certain way. It don't mean that it's right. It don't mean that it's right, because a lot of times men want to put you in the space where you doing things how he want it done right off the top. Right off the top. And can't nobody be like, that ain't true, it's facts. Right off the top. Because they know when to text you. They know when they don't want you texting them. They know when they don't want you calling them. They said they do stuff like you could call them at this time, but you might not talk to them till later on that day or a couple hours, and you gonna pay. It's methodical. If you pay attention to how they handle shit, how they handle you, and trust me, it ain't just you. And so I want females to really know, like, it don't be just you, it be everybody. Men like things a certain way, so they draw boundaries and they make it clear, right? And it's just not clear enough that a lot of women pick up on it immediately, right? Um, that's why I always say taking the time out to really get to know somebody and have those conversations. Men got a tendency to talk about old relationships, and women try to always justify their actions. You know, he said she was like this and that's why he did this, except you're not listening to what he's telling you because you believe in everything he's saying to you, right? When you don't know somebody from a can of paint, you kind of gotta be like, okay, take it for face value, but you gotta kind of know better. And I feel like if you ain't been through shit, you ain't even paying attention to the red flags. Anytime a guy to me start telling me about an old relationship, I know you trying to hide something. Matter of fact, you telling me exactly what I need to know about what type of guy you are, right? And when they are having those conversations about how good of a guy they was to her and they were doing this, paying this, doing that, you wasn't doing none of that shit. You trying to have me souped up, thinking that you about to come in, swoop me up and be your little damsel in distress and do X, Y, and Z whole time you not, right? You just creating your situationship how you want it to be done, because no time in a lot of these situations, guys not even telling you they want nothing. They're not telling you any of that. And that's one of the boundaries that they put up immediately. I never told you that's what we was doing. I never told you we was in a relationship. That's why you always end up down the line after the summer, after everybody was fucking and and hanging up and texting and blocking and unblocking and doing all that cute little shit. Now when we get to the holiday time, everybody wanna know what we doing. Exactly what y'all was doing in the summertime. That shit ain't never changed. That shit ain't never changed. Men build boundaries from the top because you ain't finna just be doing what you want. And that's just how they are, right? And women, I always say women got to take a page out of that men's handbook. Draw boundaries from the top, and not no little finicky ass boundaries that you might go over. Oh, don't call me after 9 o'clock, no shit like that. No, draw boundaries from the top. Like, hey, we not having sex before the first date. We not gonna do this for this, and it don't change whether a guy gonna dish you or not. They'll dish you regardless. So let's not even get it fucked up. They gonna dish you regardless. But you also need to set boundaries, because at the end of the day, if you could get them up out of here faster, get them up out of here faster. When you dating, you should. I'll say this, from my opinion, I don't mind talking to a couple different people trying to get to know them. I'm not fucking all of them. That's not going to happen. But equally, I'll tell you this: if I like one person, I'm 9 times out of 10 not going to talk to nobody else. I need to focus on the person that I might like and see if I really like them and hone in on seeing if we align, right? And so I don't really like that, like you dating all these multiple different people. I feel like you're not really taking the time out to really get to know somebody, Having conversations is cool because you should do that. But when it comes to dating, to me, I just feel like you should be trying to get to know one person. right? Not multiple people. I think vetting is the time where you get to do a lot of texting and figuring, meeting and talking to people. But when it comes to dating, I believe you should date one person, right? But you always have to have the conversations and listen to the things that's unsaid. Pay attention to people's actions and how they handle you. And I tell people a lot, like, you ain't the first person they're going to do it with, and you're not going to be the last. So don't sit over there and stress yourself out. Trust me, I've been through 2 breakups, awful breakups, right? That in situations, and one was a relationship and one was a situationship, and both of them lasted way too damn long, way too long. And it's because I didn't have boundaries, right? And truth be told, it really wasn't really complicated, but it really even wasn't for things that I thought was that I didn't like, but they thought was okay. It was because of manipulation with one, and with the other one, it was just like trying to see the potential in somebody and it was not there, right? And you got to stop trying to see something in people. They don't even see that shit in themselves. You really got to move around the ass. When it ain't no motion, you stop the motion. That's it. And when I say motion, I mean, if ain't nothing happening, it's no changes being made. When people blatantly, people know what they be doing, whether men or women. They know what they be doing. They know how they would want to be treated if it was them in your shoes. You don't have to tell nobody that. And I have a tendency when I'm working on that to stop. I always believe you should show people how they should treat you. But when they ain't showing you back and that shit ain't going like back and forth, you really gotta dub them. It's only so much of that shit you could do, right? So, but I'll never, ever, will never let a person tell me once that they don't like me. I don't play them games. That's okay. I could tell if a person, you always can know somebody like you from the top, right? But sometimes people be real sneaky and conniving, and when people have ulterior motives, they could pretend. But you can't pretend forever, right? So this is for men or women. Like, you don't know people's motives sometime, and so you got to make sure that you're paying attention to red flags. Don't look over red flags. I made the mistake of doing it twice. Don't look over red flags. Um, it's funny when it's somebody that you really want to fuck with or you really want to deal with, you tend to give them a little bit more grace than they need, right? And in your head, it's probably because you like, what if this is the person and we just trying to get to know each other and figure things out, or whatever the case may be, the whole time. No, that motherfucker a walking red flag. Don't even fuck with it. You know why? Because when it's for you, it's plain, it's clear, and there's no confusion. Straight like that. Plain, clear, and no confusion. So now that we into the holiday time, and this is for the ladies, don't don't get offended. Don't get mad. Don't get upset. And I know you still gonna get mad and you gonna get upset. If you don't know what it is and he has not made it clear to you now, right? You need to make the decision of what you want to do moving forward. Do you want to still fuck with him? If you don't, you need to let him go now, so that you don't get your feelings all out of sorts because you thought it was going to be something that is clearly not, and he's making it known that it's not. Stop walking into situations hurting your own feelings, right? Because you don't deserve that. And guys do need to stop playing in people's face. They do. Y'all got to stop that, because at the end of the day, where y'all be like, I don't know what I said when she cussing you out on the phone. I never said we was that. No, you should have been clear from the top. This is not what I want. I don't want a relationship. I don't want to be dealing with nobody like that. And you can't be doing the actions. So when I'm not saying doing action, I'm not talking about sex. You can't be moving like y'all doing something. That means don't be texting her all day. Don't be blowing her phone up all day. And I know females be like, if he ain't texting me all day, he ain't calling me all day, he don't want me. That don't mean shit. That don't mean shit. And you're going to learn that shit. That don't mean shit. He could call you and text you all day, and as soon as Christmas come, you don't get shit. Because y'all ain't to that. But he think it's okay because you allowing him to call you, text you all day. He following you, he trying to be up on your back. He trying to see what you doing, who you with, how you moving. You have to learn how to draw your boundaries just like men draw their boundaries up front. And be unapologetic about that. but don't have no um feelings. Don't feel no type of way. Don't get in your feelings. If you know reciprocity, when you know reciprocity, and it's not from somebody paying your little cell phone bill. No, you're grown now. Y'all got big bills, real shit, big stuff. He gotta be paying for big stuff. Little stuff, you could go pay your own cell phone bill now. You could go get your nails done yourself. You could do your hair yourself. You need to be paying bills. Rent ain't cheap. Mortgages, if you got one, ain't cheap. Car notes ain't cheap. Okay? Lights and gas ain't cheap. Groceries ain't cheap. At the end of the day, and I'm not saying you count nobody pocket in their pocket. No, you can't be. You got to stop being um, okay with the bare minimum. You have to stop being like that because you're doing your own self a disservice. Because you're gonna be doing more for him than he do for you, and you're not even gonna know it. So stop doing yourself the disservice, right? And I'm not a man basher because I love me some guys, and I know y'all some bullshit. I love when I say that because every guy that I be talking to, like, you always saying I'm some bullshit because you are. Because you some bullshit. You some bullshit, right? But at the end of the day, being direct, and sometimes, guys, don't be afraid to tell somebody it's not what you want. That's not what I want. I don't want in a relationship. But you got to stop moving like she's supposed to be doing what you want her to do because that's not true. You should not, a woman shouldn't be auditioning for your love. She shouldn't, because when you be dealing with women, y'all not really auditioning for their love. If they like you and they want to fuck with you, they gonna fuck with you. Period. And the guys are like that too. If they want you and they want to fuck with you, they gonna fuck with you. But you gotta stop having females be auditioning for you to have a spot in their life. That shit ain't what the fuck is this, Maury? You ain't doing that, right? Um, y'all gotta start being more direct and straightforward. Okay. So during this holiday season, if you'll not get invited to the Thanksgiving, okay, you better already know what type of time it is. And don't sit back trying to figure it out. He had to tell you when you get invited. Okay. I always feel like Thanksgiving is more intimate, right? A cookout is a cookout. Anybody could go to a cookout, but Thanksgiving to me is about family, getting together, breaking bread, having them cousin conversations, them aunties and, granny conversations. And I feel like it's so personal and intimate that not everybody get invited there, right? Only close friends, like really close friends, girlfriends and boyfriends get invited to Thanksgiving, right? But if you don't get invited this year, don't feel no type of way. You just need to move accordingly, okay? And I know that might not feel good to you. You might feel some type of way like, Sasha, why? Like, no, I'm telling you, move accordingly. Okay. And you shouldn't even have no questions asked because it's right there, it's apparent. All right. And I know people gonna be like, it's just Thanksgiving. Like, no, it's not just Thanksgiving. If you feel like you dealing with somebody and you rocking, I'm like, let's be realistic. If you dating somebody and they your boyfriend or they invite you to Thanksgiving, right? Like, baby, we want a Thanksgiving. You coming? Or we going to your people's house? If they ain't doing that, you ain't that. You ain't that. And don't be trying to figure it out. Don't be trying to be like, I understand, or he had to work, or I had to work anyway. No, fuck that. Oh no. No, you don't want no damn plate. Okay. Um, but I definitely wanted to talk about that because the holiday season, and I'm gonna talk about it again. The holiday season is coming. I feel like this is really the time when people start knowing who they are in a person's life and what part they play in a person's life. And this puts a lot of things in perspective. And I be hoping that people be really paying attention. And stay away from them wild ass situationships. Them just to have you going crazy. Okay. So tell me, have you ever been in a outlandish situationship in the comments? Okay, let me know what's going on. Let me know if you invite anybody Thanksgiving. If you the person being invited to Thanksgiving, are you gonna go? You know, um, what you think? Give me your opinion. Let's talk about it in the comments. Okay, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. I missed you guys, but I thought this was like a dope topic. Okay. I love y'all. Have a happy Sunday. Let Sasha know what's going on. All right. Love you.